Hey, good morning. My name's Doug, and operator for TTC for 35 years. When I was looking at the opportunity here, TTC was advertising in the newspaper. Drivers wanted. The subway had just opened up, the Spadina subway up to Wilson. And so I applied, and after a few interviews got in. Anyway, it's been good. I've enjoyed it. I've been at Wilson for 9 years, and spent a long time at Arrow Road in the bus division, and then now recently, the last 2 years, been back at Wilson Subway. Wilson's a real good division. People are good, and it's really a good thing to get back in the subway. My wife wasn't so sure about it, but it's a little bit different now, and she sees I'm happier about it, and something I enjoy. All right, got our favorable light. Give 2 bells to my operator. Brake is released. All right, we'll wait for our green door light, and we'll be on the way. Okay, here we go.
One thing as a supervisor down here in the subway, I've always been a model train buff. So this is a pleasure being able to go out as a supervisor and actually drive trains. How many kids that started off playing with model trains have actually gone out and actually drive trains? So it's one thing I love doing is jumping in the seat of the trains. I've driven everything from a G train to an H1, the H4s, the 2s, I've driven the H5, the 6, and now we have the T1s, and we're just getting in now all the new TRs. So it's fun over the years driving different types of trains with different handles and different equipment. So it's been fun over the last few years.
When I was a young boy, 8 or 9 years old, I always wanted to be a train driver. Not this kind of a train. I didn't envision this kind of a train. You know, the steam engines with the smoke and all that, and the choo-choo. But this is good enough.
Hi, I'm Robert, and I got into the commission back in 1990. As a result of the recession, our family business went down the tubes, and I was looking for almost any job. So I had to move out of my profession, which was graphic arts. And someone said, why don't you apply at TTC? And so I did.
Well, my name is June, and I started with TTC in 1989. And currently, I've been here for 24 years, so it's been a long journey and a good one at that. So I have enjoyed working with the TTC, and I had a really good time being here.
There's one thing I wanted to tell people about this job. When people look at us and they say, wow, that's a cool job, I can do that. It's just, he just has to move the lever, or the guard who's doing the doors, he just got to press the buttons. But there's a lot of training involved, a lot of training that's safety related, and also a bit of technical stuff. When I started on this job, there were 10 students who started along with me, including me. 5 were transfers from buses and streetcar, and 5 were totally new from the street. By the middle of the training, the 5 transfers had dropped out, and 1 of the people from the street actually failed one of the tests. By the end of it all, 5 of us made it to start the job, and out of those 5, only 3 made it through probation. So this is a pretty intensive training, and the level of alertness should be very high. At any given point of time, we have to watch for the lights, for track workers stopping exactly on the platform, which is no easy task when you're doing it time and time again, and you have to be 100% perfect. You make one mistake and there could be a serious injury, or or accident.
Right. What do I enjoy about this job? Well, I like driving the train. It's not for everyone. Some people feel that it's work, but I don't. I mean, actually, I like operating any kind of motorized vehicle that exists, just because I like machinery, I like equipment, I like technology. So you can't take away the fact that driving the train is fun. You know, no matter what happens during the day, you always have that. Especially if you happen to be a rail fan, that's even more fun. Come to work and play with a full-size electric train of your very own. It's hard to beat that. And it was the same deal with the buses. Buses are, well, for me, they were fun to drive, so much so that passengers used to come up to me and say, "You're having fun, aren't you?" And I said, "Yeah, I am." It was a blast to drive those buses back when I started. And streetcars, they're fun to operate too, but there's too many close calls every day for my liking. You have to watch out for everything on a streetcar. I think streetcars require the most concentration out of all three of the jobs.
My day begins at 4 o'clock every morning to get here on time to take my train out. Now my day driving actually does not begin until 7 o'clock, but I have to start somewhere. And starting at 4 o'clock in the morning is the time I have given myself to do all the necessary things that I need to do, preparing my uniform and getting my shoes and my breakfast and stuff like that, to commute here, to be here on time. And a lot of sacrifice is made by us operators to do so. Many times, a lot of the times the public do not know the things we need to go through, especially to be on the job, to take the train out on schedule. And we take our jobs very seriously because we're here to move that train.
I guess one of the things I really enjoy about this job is interacting with the people. I'm a bit of a people person guy. I always drive with my door wide open. I try to be inviting as far as if anyone has a question, I try to be approachable. If I see somebody kind of walking around with a confused look on their face, I'll stop and ask them if I could be any assistance. You know, being in inner city transit, like our customers come from all walks of life. We have people from all over, all kind of backgrounds, and it's really amazing who you can meet down here. I've met some amazing people down here that I probably wouldn't have the opportunity to meet them if I wasn't doing this job. A good day, I love kids, right? I love it when kids are sitting up front. And those are my good days. Like when I feel that I've really had a great interaction with a customer, it's very satisfying. Excuse me.
I call it, we're all like ambassadors. We're all eyes here at TTC. So there's like 6,000 to 7,000 operators, and every day there's some operator out there doing something to help or save somebody's life. Out of my 13 years here career, I had almost, well, when I think everything I've seen, something does happen new. There's good things and bad things.
Hold on, we got a problem. I got no communication. We got a problem, girls. Did you lose power on your end? I lost power on my end. 393-3030. Yeah. You better phone them and tell them.
We're gonna have to couple up, right? But They lost communication with the train behind us too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to walk back there.
Yeah.
Call them.
I got no OPG.
We got nothing right now. I know.
He's an employee. We can do it.
And Chief is gonna bring handsets down for us.
Okay.
But I gotta walk back there, call them from a phone back there.
All right.
And then we're gonna have to get the Chief in the handhelds and then come
Okay,
in.
we can do hand signals in the meantime.
Someone qualified?
I'm signal 4 person.
Okay. So once we get the Chief down here, we'll probably do that.
Yep.
All right.
I'm on the train, we can proceed.
You are on the disabled train.
Yes, I'm clear of track level. Did you guys get the FPO?
We got nothing.
You say you're just getting down to track level now?
No, I'm on the train now.
Update on the situation is this train is disabled, and right now I'm waiting for information from my guard about what's going on. Chief Supervisor is supposed to show up with phones from him to the following train, and we'll probably have to be coupled and pushed. Right now I don't know anything else because I have no communication with the other end, no communication with control. He has to, the guard there, he has to go down outside at the back end and use the PAX phone. That's the private telephone line. Operator 103, you're clear. Proceed.
What's that train taking? Who cares? So 103 and 104, you're moving towards Danforth. The emergencies are at Danforth, and then we'll proceed to Danforth forward and then go to 1.
Operator 103 copies that. We're proceeding offload at Eglinton West. As far as that disablement went with the TR train, it's nice to know we have systems in place to back up, transit control sent supervisors to bring two-way radios and that, so everybody was safe, although we were inconvenienced and the customers were inconvenienced and it was unfortunate. Everybody was safe, and if something worse should have happened, we have procedures in place to handle that.
In this city, it's almost a pastime for Torontonians to criticize about the TTC, to bash the TTC, which I think is really sad. When you look at the TTC from not even that long ago, I mean, we were one of the best transit systems in North America, and we have the respect from the public. But we really need to, improve service so we could earn that respect back from the public. I mean, I personally try to do a good job every day, and it's I don't know, it's almost heartbreaking when somebody that you've never met before and that you've never had any dealt with automatically, doesn't like you, or does, wants to criticize you or insult you based on the company that you work for. And that can be hard, that can be challenging.
We are just a bunch of operators that are doing exactly what the public does on a daily basis when they're going on their commute, when they're going to their jobs, how they prepare themselves to get to work. We do actually the same things, and we're not making any excuses for anything. We just want the public to know that at the end of the day, a lot of us start out early in the morning and end up late at night.
Being a subway operator, you don't have as much interaction with the public that you would as a bus driver, a streetcar driver. As I mentioned before, I did a couple of years driving streetcars, where some operators would say that the public can be the most challenging aspect of the job, which it can be. I also think it's one of the most rewarding as well. So being in subway, I do like driving the subway, I do like operating it, but I kind of also miss, the company, I guess you could say.
So Kenny, where are we?
We're in the Shepherd subway on the center platform.
And what are we doing here?
We are going to go on Doug's final run.
Doug's decided to take a T1, eh?
Yeah.
Today marks 36 years, and it's time to call it a day. Time to hand in the keys, you know, and let somebody else take over the control. But it's been a wonderful time. For the most part, you know, we've had good things going on, and working with TTC, doing any kind of public service job, and from my experience, is it's about your attitude. You have a good attitude, the day can go much better. Yeah, sure, I'll miss it. I think everybody would, but it's been good. It's been good. Hey, thanks everyone. Thanks to Toronto for riding with the TTC, you know, and appreciate it. You know, anytime anybody wants to give a smile to an operator or say a thank you, hey, we appreciate that. So here we go. Let's land this thing nicely and give these people good service.